Howdy everyone, welcome to the fifth video in our five-part video series on sustainable energy. Today, we're going to be discussing the comparison of all of the energy types that we've gone over so far. So today, we're going to review all of the energy types we discussed so far. We're going to discuss a future outlook on energy, and we're going to discuss what you can do to support clean energy yourself. Additionally, the keyword for today is century. So far, we've discussed the 9 energy types, of which 4 are unsustainable and 5 are sustainable. Of the 4 unsustainable energy types we've discussed so far, we've talked about coal, natural gas, oil, and nuclear energy. Of the sustainable energy types that we've discussed so far, we've talked about hydroelectric, wind, geothermal, biofuel, and solar. If you haven't already seen the 4 previous videos in this series, I would highly recommend watching those before this one, as you're going to be able to get a ton of background information before we actually have a retrospect in today's video. So, future concerns about energy. Amongst unsustainable energy sources, the largest threats are natural gas and oil. Both natural gas and oil continue to grow despite environmental and sustainability concerns, unfortunately. Each type represents approximately 37% of net energy consumption in the US, which together makes up nearly 3/4 of our entire net energy consumption, which is an entirely huge number. So how can we stop this from happening? Well, the main way is to substitute sustainable energy instead of those unsustainable energy types. So the largest current sustainable source right now is hydroelectric power, which makes up 60% of all renewable sources and 16% of total energy sources. Geothermal is pretty similar to hydroelectric in that it's able to power up to 10% of all US energy at full capacity. However, both have the same limitation. Both hydroelectric and geothermal energy are limited by their own design. Geothermal energy and hydroelectric are limited by their resources in that it's very difficult to build a new dam, for instance, for hydroelectric energy. It's very costly and a ton of maintenance is required. In the same vein, geothermal energy is also pretty difficult to harvest new forms and to actually grow to support our future energy needs, just because of the Earth's limitations. Unlike hydroelectric and geothermal energy, however, which are limited by their availability, some sources do have the potential to grow exponentially, which are biofuel, solar, and wind energy. Wind is the fastest growing energy source as of today, which is most effective at a large scale, for instance, a wind turbine. Solar is the second fastest growing energy source, which is most effective at the individual level, such as a solar panel on top of a house. Biofuel, on the other hand, is most intriguing in its ability to decrease crude oil usage. The more biofuel we produce, the less crude oil we produce. So far, we've discussed broadly the pros and cons of the different types of energy, but what can you do? You can ask your electric utility about renewable energy programs. You can write to elected officials asking them to support renewable energy. You can voice your support for local clean energy projects, and more. But what about specific movements and ideas that you can get behind? Well, some ideas to support might include making renewable energy tech a global public good, improving global access to components and raw materials, leveling the playing field for renewable energy tech, shifting energy subsidies from fossil fuels to renewable energy, and increasing global investment in renewable energy. Keep in mind, these are just some ideas to support. There are far more, but here are just 5 good ones. So in conclusion, thank you for listening to this series on clean energy. We hope you now know more about the past, present, and future of renewable energy than you did before. If you'd like to learn more about environmental and social sustainability, consider checking out the TAMU Office of Sustainability. Spring intern positions for applications are now open. Thank you so much.